Hello, everybody, and welcome to using AI to turn taproom data into an actionable SWOT analysis. My name is Andrew Copeland with Secret Hopper, and it's great to see so many people tuning in. You're busy, you wear a ton of hats, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time. From the less than 60 minutes we're going to spend together today, I hope you are not only able to add more time back into your week, but also use the method we're about to go over to more efficiently use data collected from Secret Hopper taproom visits to both create more memorable and more profitable experiences for your guests, your staff, and you. If you haven't already added Secret Hopper taproom data to your toolkit, we'd love the opportunity to show you the value. Let's find time to chat following this. Currently, Secret Hopper has helped well over 500 taprooms nationwide. We do this by sending in mystery shoppers to visit taprooms, order beer, sometimes food, and then provide feedback on the experience. Our service is extremely affordable. It actually pays for itself. And in a time when every dollar counts, we can help you increase tap size and get guests coming back sooner. Today, we're going to use a sample Secret Hopper report to show you how to best utilize this data with AI. So let's dive in. First off, today isn't about a magic prompt that's going to save your taproom, unfortunately. It's about how to easily turn taproom feedback into a short list of priorities you and your team can actually act on. Like taproom data, AI can be another tool in your kit. And for everybody here today, once again, I appreciate you hanging out. Drop in the chat if you're up for it, where you're in from, and the name of your brewery. I'd love to see who's joining us today. If you're open for engaging a little bit. So today's goals. First, when people look at guest feedback, the instinct is usually to jump straight to conclusions. Here's what we're good at. Here's what we're bad at. The problem is when you skip straight to that step, you almost always end up with big, lame, and generic statements like, hey, friendly staff, or maybe inconsistent service. They need better training. Those sound nice, but they're also not very useful. Often we're actually doing things like this the hard way. Instead of starting with conclusions, we can actually start by looking for patterns. And that's what we're going to do today. So what I mean by that is what shows up again and again. Where do multiple guests describe the same moments, not the way that you want them to be? Where do we just see the same missed opportunity visit after visit? Once we isolate those patterns, then we can group them into themes. After we do that, can we build a SWOT analysis? A SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's a simple way to organize what's working, what's not, and what opportunities exist. So you can stop guessing and start making more intentional data-backed decisions. The order I just mentioned, it does matter, as you'll see. Because now our SWOT isn't based on opinions. It's based on repeated observable behaviors in your taproom. And this changes everything. So instead of saying things like, our service is inconsistent, we can say, guests are not being acknowledged when they walk in. We've got the data to prove that. Flights are rarely being offered. Barely any guests are being encouraged to have another drink. These are things that can actually cost you money. Those are coachable. And those are trainable, and we can measure them. Doing it the long way isn't about being fancier or more academic. It's about making sure the output, what you put in, actually leads to better shifts for your staff, better guest experiences, and more profit for your business. By output, I mean what you're actually going to get out. I apologize on that. So that is the goal. So yes. You could simply upload your most recent Secret Hopper report into ChatGPT and ask it to do a SWOT analysis, and that might be okay. But if I drop this report into ChatGPT with zero context, I'll get generic hospitality advice. We're going to follow a 7-step process to get the most out of an AI SWOT analysis. We use this 7-step process because good decisions don't come from one big prompt. They come from breaking the problem into smaller questions so AI can actually think through the data almost the same way a manager would. So to make it easy to see everything, at this point, I recommend putting your computer in full screen mode. There's going to be a little bit of text, and it might get a little small. So here we go. First off, to remove any bias, I'm going to tell it, and we'll get to ChatGPT in just a second, ignore all previous conversations and treat this as a brand new session. That way it won't use anything I've already input into ChatGPT. And next, we're going to tell AI who I am and what I care about. This will make every step that follows way smoother. And we're going to send out all these prompts to you following as a thank you for joining us today. So what we're going to input first is, I am a brewery owner and taproom manager reviewing guest experience data from my taproom. My goal is to understand what's working, what's not, and where to focus next. This is background information for context only. Do not analyze or give any advice yet. For this session, please follow these output guidelines. Use short bullet points. Keep most bullet points to one sentence. Be specific and operational. Avoid generic hospitality language and make outputs easy to skim. So let's jump on over to ChatGPT. As mentioned, we're going to first tell it to ignore all previous conversations. We've got that there. It's going to talk to us a little bit. And then we're going to put the second prompt in, telling us a little bit about who you are. We want to make sure they understand. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to we're going to upload a secret hopper report exactly as you received it. You don't need to clean it. You don't need to edit it. In just a second, I'll show you what a report may look like. And then we're going to paste in the following prompts. That prompt's going to review the entire report. Identify recurring themes and patterns across visits. Group similar feedback together. Do not summarize individual visits. So let's look at a secret hopper report. At the top, it starts with a little bit of data, who's coming in. We're going to give you the day of the week, the time. And right now, I'm just going to kind of scan from top to bottom. We start with everything from where the shopper sat, how clean it was outside the brewery, how soon they got greeted upon entry. We get to things like, was there a visible menu? Did the staff member introduce himself? Did they offer recommendations? We'll kind of fast forward a minute, but you get the idea. If you have one of these, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't worked with us before, we can send a copy later if you want to dive a little bit deeper. It's going to ask things like, did you purchase any beer to go? Did you receive a thank you? One of my favorites, how would you rate the staff's level of engagement? This first visit, unfortunately, neutral. And then we're going to ask, would you recommend this brewery and how soon you plan to return? So right now, what I'm going to do, as mentioned, I'm going to upload the report, the one that you just saw, into ChatGPT. So we're going to upload the report from Andrew's Brewing, and we're going to give it that prompt to review the entire report, identify recurring themes, group similar feedback together, and don't summarize. So let's go. Okay, let's see how fast this works. We've got a lot coming, it looks like. So arrival and first impressions, inconsistent greeting at the door across multiple visits, busy event nights create a no one noticed us feeling at entry. How about under bar greeting and speed of service? Off-peak visits greeted within 0 to 1 minutes. Okay, that's pretty good. Peak event visits 5 to 7+ minutes before someone's acknowledged. And as we scroll down, they're breaking it down into a lot of different categories. And you're busy. I get it. There's a lot going on here from the beginning. And I know your team, they don't want to have a list of 10 things that you're telling them to do. So we're ultimately going to get it. So you have actionable takeaways that are easy to break down, easy to understand, and easy to act on. So we've got that in there. Next, we're going to have it start the SWOT analysis. So what we're going to ask next, as you can see right here on this slide, we're going to say, using the themes you identified, build a SWOT analysis. Only include items that appear in multiple visits or are strongly supported by data. Be specific and operational. Limit each SWOT category to no more than 5 items. So let's drop this in and see how that hones in. Okay, strengths. Taproom and bathrooms consistently rated clean or very clean. Clean is good. Multiple staff described as friendly, knowledgeable, and conversational. Okay, those are good things. Weaknesses. Guests not consistently greeted when entering the taproom. Slow bar acknowledgement and long waits during busy event nights. How about some opportunities? Maybe standardized door and bar greetings behavior across shifts. Add clearly priced beer menu visible from the bar and seating areas. What are some threats? Oh, this is a big one. Busy event nights create negative impressions despite strong programming. Let's hone in on that one for a sec, because you could have a really great event, but if staff's not able to engage and get that consistent quality of connection, it might not be as well received as it could. Okay, So, as you can see, that was a lot there. So, what we want to do now is give it to you more digestible. We want to make it so much more digestible. We're going to make this even easier to read and then use. Let's get rid of all that AI BS, the M dashes and words like delve. I didn't see many of them there, but they creep up quite a bit. And we want to make this better for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy the words below. We're going to type in review the SWOT and identify any vague or generic items. Rewrite them to be more specific and operational. So we're going to bounce back over to ChatGPT, pop that in, and let's see what happens next. It says, below are items that were vague or high level, followed by tighter operational rewrites. Once again, this is a 7-step process, so it's not going to be perfect yet. We're going to get it there. One of the original strengths was multiple staff described as friendly, knowledgeable, and conversational. The rewrite, certain bartenders initiate conversation, answer beer questions accurately, and offer style-based recommendations that lead to additional pint purchases. Okay, that's a little bit better. Let's go to one of the weaknesses. One of the weaknesses is guests not consistently greeted when entering the tap room. The rewrite is guests report entering the tap room without any verbal acknowledgement from staff, even when walking past employees. Ouch, that one hits. How about let's get down to an opportunity? The original was standardized door and bar greeting behavior across all shifts. That sounds a little generic hospitality talk to me. Rewrite. Require a verbal, hey there, or welcome in within 5 seconds of entry and within 30 seconds at the bar. Seems pretty doable there. People like to be acknowledged, everybody. How about a threat? The original was busy event nights create negative impressions despite strong programming. The rewrite, high traffic event nights expose staff and service gaps that lead to long waits and low engagement. Long waits. Raise your hand if you like waits. Nobody likes waits, and everybody likes to feel that connection. From past data, we see that when your team is able to engage, we have a data set of 10,000 visits that shows this at a high level. Tabs are 40% higher when you have high engagement versus low engagement. So we're finally getting somewhere now. And what we want to do on step 6 is identify the top priorities. And here's what we're going to do next. We're going to copy this from the weaknesses and opportunities. You're going to identify the top 3 priorities based on potential impact on guest experience or revenue, level of effort to address, and explain why each was selected. So we're going to drop that in. This is ultimately going to give you something you can easily take back to your team and see results from. Okay. One of the first things it calls out is slow or missing acknowledgement at the bar. It appears in multiple visits. It directly affects first impressions and patients. It's low effort to fix with clear expectations. It's an easy one to fix. You're not rebuilding a kitchen. You're just saying, hey, make sure you greet the guest. And it impacts abandonment as people leaving, dwell time, how long people stay, and second round orders. So people are going to spend more. And why did it select this? Fixing greeting and acknowledgement behavior improves experience immediately and costs almost nothing. Let's read one more. Let's talk about the issue regarding beer menu pricing and flight clarity. Multiple guests report missing prices or flight details. I honestly hate it when a menu doesn't let me know if I can order a flight or not. Sure, I can ask the question, but it's nice to know while I'm in line if I can get prepared to order one when I get to the ordering counter. It creates friction at the ordering moment. Yeah, just like I said, I might have to ask the question. Now I'm going to stumble through ordering my flight if I want one, and it's slowing down your line. Moderate one-time effort. You can update the menu just to fix it. So that's a little ChatGPT speak there, but simply put, update your menu, add flights. Why? It directly impacts ordering confidence and upsell potential. Me visiting for a brewery for the first time, I almost always want a flight. So why was this selected? Clear menus reduce hesitation and increase likelihood of flights, pints, and second rounds. Let's read the third there. Lack of proactive second beer and to-go suggestions. Upselling. Rarely occurring across visits. This is a direct revenue opportunity, everybody. It's very low effort to implement with simple language. Hey, Andrew, you really enjoyed that IPA. Would you like to take a crowler home? Simple, simple, simple. Why was it selected? Small verbal prompts consistently lift check averages without changing staffing or layout. These changes can make a difference, everybody. And I hope from today, you can really just take away one thing you can go back to your staff with. So, and I know how it can be when your staff repeatedly hear you telling them to do something. That's part of the advantage of using Secret Hopper data. It comes from a third party, not you, and it's objective. And we can add data in that actually shows the impact. So if you're trying to get your team to sell more flights, well, we have data that shows tabs are over 25% higher when staff encourage it. And we're going to incorporate stats like that into the feedback you can generate from your very own ChatGPT. So what we're going to put in next for each priority, provide one operational change, one staff training action, how you can train them to do it, one simple metric to track, and one specific numeric data point pulled directly from a Secret Hopper blog post on our website that includes a number or percentage. So instead of saying, hey, I need you to sell more flights, you can say, hey, we're going to sell more flights. Here's how you do it. We're going to monitor it based on our POS flight sales. And guess what? We see tabs 25% higher when you do it. It's a win for everybody. So let's drop that into good old Chat GPT. See what it shows us. It's thinking really hard on this one. Okay, priority number 1. Slow or missing acknowledgement at the bar and entry. The operational change, require first staff member who sees a guest to give a verbal greeting within 5 seconds of entry and within 30 seconds at the bar. That makes sense. The training action, run a 10-minute pre-shift role play practicing eye contact plus hello plus I'll be right with you. It gives people practicing what works for them. You don't want your team to feel like robots. A simple metric to track, percentage of Secret Hopper visits where greeting at entry is yes. So that's one thing we actually track on the Secret Hopper reports. It's going to say were you greeted upon entry with a simple hello or some sort of other welcoming gesture. If you get a yes, that means it's done. We can literally track that back to how your team is doing. Okay, this AI didn't do a good job of finding the Secret Hopper data point. We'll address that in a moment. Priority 2, beer menu pricing and flight clarity. The operational change, install a bar menu showing beer name, style, ABV, price, and flight size. Look at your menu. Does it have all that stuff? Staff training action. Train staff to state flight size and price automatically when handing menus. I don't know if I actually recommend saying the price when you handle, but hey, we've got flights. Are you visiting for the first time? Would you like to try one? Simple metric to track. You could also do this from your POS, but also from Secret Hopper data showing percent of visits, showing that one, the menu has visible prices and a flight was encouraged. We're going to once again go into the data issue in just a second. Priority number 3, lack of proactive second beer and to-go suggestions. We can add an operational change and add a required check-in step after flights. Ask about a favorite beer and offer pints to go. That's a great one. Just check in with someone and say, hey, which one of these flights is your favorite? Would you like a pint of that? Or would you maybe like some to go? Staff training action. Practice the phrase, want a pint of your favorite or anything to take home? Yeah, don't sound like robots, but you really enjoyed that lager. Did you know we have a 6-pack? It's limited edition. Grab it today. Simple metric to track. Once again, Secret Hopper data covers this. We asked the question, did staff encourage you to have a second beverage or to go beer? We have both of those there. Now let's address why the Secret Hopper data wasn't done. So, hey there, let's get a little friendly. I asked you to please provide one specific numeric data point pulled from the Secret Hopper blog. I know it exists at secrethopper.com. Let's see what we can get here. Sure enough, it does. Guests spend nearly 12% more when their visit begins with a greeting upon entering the tap room versus when it does not. That simple action goes a long way. How about physical menus? Guests who are offered a physical menu see tabs an average of 35% higher than those not offered one. And this is a good one for to-go beer. When staff suggests to-go beer, guests make that purchase 49% of the time versus 9% on their own. Guests are a whopping 408% more likely to purchase to-go when asked versus not asked. So then you can say, add this back in. So it's what it's going to do. It's going to send the 3 priorities there, but it's going to fix it and put that data back in. You can take it to your staff and say, look, here's the change we're making. Here's how we're going to train on it. Here's the metric we're tracking. And here's what the data says. So it's not just me, Mr. Manager, telling you to do something. You're going to make more money. And who doesn't want to make more money? Money can be a great motivator. So here is another reason I like to use this data. And while it can be used to discover weaknesses and areas of opportunity, I like using it as a way to recognize staff who are doing a great job. So what we're going to put in next, we're going to say, using this report, identify specific staff members who are mentioned positively. For each person, what they did, why it matters. Write a one or two sentence shout out in a conversational tone. Maybe you can drop that in the newsletter this week. Okay, let's see what they got. Based on the report, 2 staff members were clearly mentioned with specific positive behaviors. Joe, everybody give it up for Joe. What did Joe do? Joe introduced himself, engaged in casual conversation, and made a specific beer recommendation that led to a pint purchase. Why did this matter? It built rapport and directly influenced additional spending. Shout out to Joe for being friendly, knowledgeable, and great at connecting with guests. Your recommendation turned a pint and made their visit more memorable. Everybody likes to feel appreciated. Also, let's give it up for Tara. Huge thanks for Tara for being warm, knowledgeable, and spot on recommendations. Guests noticed and specifically called out how great you were. This matters to Joe and Tara. Use the data to recognize and reward your staff for doing the things you're asking them to do. It's so important for people to feel appreciated. So AI can spot patterns. It can suggest options, but it cannot see your tap room. It doesn't know your staff's personalities or your margins. It doesn't know who's coachable versus burned out. It doesn't know your labor constraints. It doesn't know your budget. Why this matters? It reinforces that you, the owners and the managers, are still the ones making decisions and actually leading. Make it a habit each time we send you this monthly report. Run it monthly using your secret hopper reports. Revisit it after major staffing or operational changes. Reframe it as a short working session, not as a project. This doesn't take long. It's taken me longer today to explain the process, and you could go back and do it in 5 minutes. Once again, it doesn't take long, and it's going to give you immediate action items. What I want you to do, I want you to pick a priority. Maybe you want to sell more flights. Maybe you want to sell more to-go beer. Pick a short window to track progress, whether a specific shift, maybe a busy Saturday, or maybe over a few-week time period. Monitor how your team is doing. Look at how it's going and make adjustments accordingly. Maybe your team needs a little bit more coaching, or maybe you want to recognize Joe and Tara for the awesome job for picking it up. I personally hate it when breweries get data and don't use it. So let's turn all this data and insights into action. You are busy, but by using tools like this, by using tools like data, we can make your life easier and your business more successful. So following this, share one priority with your team. I'm going to focus on one priority because if you give them 10 things to do, they're not going to do a good job of any. Focus on that one priority and share it with your team. Celebrate someone doing a great job and do it monthly. I appreciate all you joining in today. We're going to send out that follow-up email with all the prompts so you can use them to see results. I am always up for a call to chat about Taproom strategy, and I would love to connect. So at this point, if there is any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. If not, let's hop on a call soon because I would love to get to know you. I would love to hear your thoughts on what's working in your taproom and where is room for improvement. I am very lucky to spend my days talking to so many great people who work on your side of the industry. So thank you for being there, for doing what you do, and for believing in the value of creating memorable taproom experiences. Everybody, thanks again for being here. There's my link in the chat. If you want to chat, always up for it. I probably spend way too much time on Zoom, but I never turn down a call. So I hope to see you soon, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Appreciate it. Cheers.